there, good afternoon, and welcome to your Wellness Wednesday Live. You're here with Chelsea Marie from chelseamariecoaching.com. If you are new, welcome, and if you don't know who I am, as I mentioned, I'm Chelsea Marie. Oh hi Mike, thanks for joining. I'm a board certified health coach, and I show up here every week at 12:30 to share health and wellness tips that amplify your health and also fuel the success of your business. So the past couple of weeks, I've been sharing quite a few tips on that were food-based. So this week, I kind of wanted to shake it up a little bit. Hi, Erin. Thank you so much for joining. So as I was mentioning, this week I'm going to shake it up a little bit. It's not going to be so much food-based. This week, oh, hi, Ash. Thanks for joining. This week, as much as I love sharing information and the knowledge that I have on food and nutrition and how to better our health and our mindset and our body and how to fuel ourselves and just feeling our absolute best. There's one thing that I love a little bit more, and more so because it's in a different way, and it's sharing my knowledge and my personal experience in life on how to nourish your soul. This was something that actually took me a while to figure out. It wasn't until about 5 years ago when my health was suffering. I was in a complete rut. Actually, it was my sister, Ashley, who pointed it out. I had no idea. I just remember I had zero motivation for anything, and that was not my character. It was so far from who I was at my core when I was my best. And I realized that, and I was a clean eater. I was a super, super, super clean eater. And it was so frustrating because, I knew how to eat clean. My mother, I grew up with her, in my house and she was a nutritionist. And, we always knew how to eat clean. So when I caught myself being in a rut and feeling just so burnt out, it was really hard, especially when everyone else around me, who was partying and not eating so clean looked amazing. So it was a huge frustration. It was huge for me. It didn't make any sense. It's like when you're trying to lose weight and you're working out and you're eating the proper portions and you're just not losing the weight. And you're like, what am I doing wrong? What's the proper equation here? So it wasn't until I left my job that was sucking the life out of me. And then later on, when I had left my relationship of about 7.5 years, it wasn't until then that I realized that, our environment, the relationships that you surround yourself with, whether it's, family relationships, friend relationships, or your partner relationship, the work that you do, the environment that you surround yourself in, it affects your health in a way that no amount of broccoli or kale will ever be able to top you up. So what I have learned in my personal experience going through all my shifts on my journey, and what I have found to be the same points for all my clients, is what I want to share here with you today. So if you are feeling burnt out, it's because there's something in your life. Hi Jagjit, thanks for joining. If you are feeling burnt out, it's because there's something in your life that's weighing you down. So ask yourself, take a look around at your life. Is it your relationship? Is it your job? Is it your home environment? To be in a place where you have no motivation and no energy to get up, to go out, to socialize, to do little things for yourself, like cook your meals. If you're feeling so burnt out, there's something in your life that you are sick and tired of. There's something that is no longer serving you to grow. And that's just it. If there's something in your life that's no longer serving you to grow, it's now taking away from you. And that is why you're feeling so burnt out. So there's something going on in your world that that's no longer serving you to grow. It doesn't align with your core values. It doesn't align with what you are desiring for yourself in your world. And if you are feeling stuck, if you are feeling defeated, if you are feeling like you're in a rut, it's because there's a decision about what's weighing you down that needs to be made. And because you haven't made that decision yet on how to let go of what's holding you down, you are now holding yourself back. So I'll repeat that. If there's something in your life, if you are feeling burnt out, there's something in your life that is weighing you down. This could be your job, this could be your relationship, this could be your home environment. There's something that is weighing you down. And if you are feeling defeated, if you are feeling like you're in a rut or you're stuck, it's because there's a decision that you need to make that hasn't been made yet. And the more time you prolong making this decision, the more time you wait, the more held back and the more stuck you're gonna feel. So it all comes down to one thing. If you have something in your life, especially when you are aware that something is holding you back, and if you're aware that something is holding you down and you haven't made the decision yet to move away from it, it's because of fear. So as an example, let's say you're at a job that is just sucking the life out of you. It no longer serves you and it's driving you crazy every single day, having to show up and go there and do the work that you don't want to do. If this is the case, maybe in this case, anyone would say, well, why don't you just leave your job if you're not happy with it? But in your mind, there's a fear factor of, well, what if I can't find another job? What if I get stuck and I don't have the money and I can't pay for the roof over my head, or I can't pay for my bills, or I can't pay for my food? Or, maybe if it's a relationship situation, maybe it's, maybe they won't meet someone else and I never will. Or maybe, I'll never meet someone who cares for me like they do. Even though you're so unhappy with what's actually going on, there's a fear factor that's preventing you from making a decision, from letting go and moving forward. And when we dig a little bit deeper and you ask yourself, why are we even afraid? Why are we so fearful? Even though it's a potential scenario, it's not even it's not even a guarantee of what's going to happen. It's just a potential. It's because there's a lack of trust. There's a lack of trust in yourself that you will figure it out. There's a lack of trust that you will be okay. So there are 3 things I'm going to share with you today. You can try all 3, you can try one of them, you can pick, whatever information that you like from it and kind of make it your own. So like I said before, when in the past, I had to leave a job that was completely sucking the life out of me. I remember, one day getting ready for work and literally crying as I put my mascara on because I just so badly did not want to go into work. I was so done with it, but yet I was so afraid to leave because of that money situation, of that guarantee. And then again, later on, being in a relationship, you don't know what's going to happen. You might lose that person forever and you're just so afraid, and that fear is just holding you back. So in this situation, there are, like I said, a couple steps that I have found that will really help to build you up and to shift your energy, into feeling not so burnt out, bringing up your energy and to shift you from not feeling so stuck. Hi, Megan. Thank you for joining. So here are those 3 things. First one is to write out a list of whatever it is you're afraid of. It could be anything little. It could be, holding a spider. It could be going for a walk by yourself. I, at one point, was terrified. I live in Kelowna, BC. We have so many beautiful trails, and I used to be terrified to go out by myself because I was afraid I'd run into a bear or a coyote or get eaten alive by something. And, once you actually go out there and you do the things that you're afraid of, you remind yourself how powerful you are. You will feel so empowered. I promise you. So write a list of whatever it is you're afraid of. Like I said, it doesn't have to be anything huge. I mean, the bigger it is, the more drastic of a shift you will feel from it. But it could be anything simple, because I guarantee when you push through your fears, you walk out feeling so empowered in a way that no amount of food could ever, make you feel empowered. You're going to feel so fueled in a way that no amount of food could ever fuel you up. So you will walk out and you're going to start to exercise your trust factor. You're going to realize that you have nothing really holding you back other than the fear in your own mind. So when you do the things that scare you and you push through your fear, you realize that you are in full control and that you totally can do it. You have full control, and you, at the end of the day, can always trust yourself in figuring it out and making it work. Tip number 2 is gratitude. If you can't appreciate what you have now, you will never appreciate what you have in the future. And what I mean by that is if you're in a situation where you're unhappy with your job, if you are unhappy with the work you have now, even if you were to quit, you wouldn't be happy with the next job that you have. So every single morning when you wake up, first things first, just write down 10 things you're grateful for. This right here will start to immediately shift your energy. As I said, if you're feeling burnt out, if you're feeling in a rut, you've got no motivation, you've got no energy, you're feeling trapped, you can easily start shifting that energy into just pointing out what it is you have to be grateful for. I remember when I had first quit my job, my partner and I had moved into one of his rental properties. It was an investment for him as a business, and it was an investment property that had not been yet invested in. So the house was a dump. It had, pipes were leaking. It had bugs everywhere because the insulation was so horrible, and it was, the whole house was just so worn out. I remember some days the heat wasn't even working. So in my gratitude journal, I would write out, I'm grateful that today the heat is working, or I'm grateful that I have a bunch of sweaters that I can layer up on to make, to warm me up, or I'm grateful that, I have food in my fridge. And it was just funny because within about, 9 months to a year, when I had actually moved out of that house, I was actually so sad to leave that house. It's insane what gratitude will do for you. And the beautiful thing about gratitude is when you realize what you have in your world to be grateful for, you start opening up. And when your mindset is open, all these opportunities that are around you start coming in. Because if you're in a situation, hi Heather, if you're in a situation where you're feeling burnt out, if you're feeling stuck, you're closed off to the world. You're closed off, you're in your head, you're trying to figure it out. So the minute you can start opening up your mindset, you will now be open to all these opportunities that are around you. And that's just it. There are always solutions waiting to come to you. There are always opportunities. You just have to be in a mindset and a space to be open to it. Tip number 3, go for a walk. Set your alarm for 10 minutes and just go for a walk. Go for a walk in a direction you've never been before. Don't be afraid to get lost, because you will only remind yourself that you will always find your way. Yes, thank you so much for sharing that, Megan. Trust yourself. Absolutely. So, and the beautiful thing about, the beautiful thing about going for a walk is, it's an amazing way to digest your thoughts. It's an amazing way to just find inner peace with yourself, to get that balance. And it's a great way to top yourself up. When we do things with people, if you were to go for a walk with a friend, you're now, having to listen to them, respond back to them. It's not really the best way to top yourself up if you're feeling quite depleted. So that's one thing I also want to point out, is if you are burnt out, spend a little bit of time more inward so you can just top yourself up before putting yourself in situations where you're social and having to give back, because in that case, it's a little bit harder to be present and to give when you're feeling really drained and burnt out yourself. So just a little recap here. If you're feeling burnt out, there's something in your life that's weighing you down. And if you are feeling stuck and if you're in a rut, it's because there's a decision that's waiting to be made about what it is that's burning you out. And in that case, you have to make the decision to either change your mindset, to let go, or to walk away. Otherwise, you're going to keep creating this circle of feeling burnt out and in a rut. And once again, that fear factor is what it always comes down to. And the reason why you're afraid is because you don't trust yourself. So put these 3 actions together, write out your list of fears and pursue them, push through them. Write out your gratitude list every single morning and do it in the morning, because when you do it first thing in the morning, it really sets a strong, healthy tone for the rest of the day. And then that 3rd one is going for a walk. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. All 3 of these tips have really shaped me in situations when I really, really, really needed help. And I have found that there are 3 things that have helped all my clients to just bounce back or bounce out of whatever situation was holding them back. So try them out. If you know anyone who could benefit from hearing this, please feel free to tag their name down below. Feel free to share this with them. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. I will always get back to you as soon as I can. If you do want to reach out to me personally, if you want support support in a decision that you feel is holding you back. This is something that I'm so passionate about. I mean, I love nutrition, and nutrition is a tool that I use to amplify your body, to amplify your energy. But at the end of the day, it always comes down to your environment, your relationships, everything around you in your world. Because like I said before, food is 50%. The other 50% really is your primary foods, which is everything else in life that feeds your soul that food cannot. So if you do want support, if you do want some help, I would be more than happy to sit with you, and I can share with you how I can be of help and help you come out of this situation. This is one thing I am so good at. I am excellent at helping people come out of situations that are holding them back, because I myself have had to take myself out of many situations before. So if you are wanting to connect personally, you can reach me at chelseamariecoaching@gmail.com, or you can message me privately. Anyways, you guys have an amazing day. I'll be back here next Wednesday at 12:03 Pacific time. Bye.